Hey guys, I don't know why I got this border here. There we go. 4 of you so far. Let me see. Carl, what's going on, man? Cankle Master. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Hey, Chris, just got back to work today. After 4 weeks, I'll be in and out. I'm sorry to hear that. Damn, I didn't even have the mic in front of me. I'm killing it right now. All right. 6 people, guys, hit the like button, please. Jump in the chat whenever you'd like. I don't know what kind of day it's going to be. With the Super Bowl and all that. I don't know if we're going to have a lot of people or not. Not sure. I guess we'll wait and see. $12 people. Guys, please hit the like button. As many of you as possible. I'd appreciate it. I'm sure we're going to jump up here pretty quickly. 50, 100, something. It's Dr. Evil's mini-me. Yes, that's who I am. Correct, Mark Green. They'll be in when Bad Bunny performs. Yeah. God, they are pissed off about that. How funny is it? My God. What's up, man? How you doing, Bathy? Nothing to like here. Okay, Steven, you don't have to watch, That's freedom of choice we got in this country. Well, hopefully we'll keep it, but I doubt it. Yeah, Kid Rock has a very pedo-like lyrics, but that's the guy they want to watch tonight. What a surprise. MAGA wants to watch a guy who raps about being a pedo or sings about being a pedo. I wonder how many people know that Kid Rock was a rapper back in the 80s. And he failed miserably as a rapper. And that's the only reason he went on to do rock and country and all that shit. Hey, Miss Campuron. Fuck DT. I'm with you, Roll Bar. Herds got ahead. What? This is what we voted for. What exactly, Lewis? Could you tell me? Or Luis? What did you vote for? I'm mixed up. How come there's 2 different chats? There shouldn't be 2 different chats. What do you mean? Why would there be 2 different chats? Everything. So nothing specific, in other words. So you're not even really sure what he's up to. You just like it. Gotcha. Sounds about right. Sounds like the typical MAGA voter. I agree, Chris Kent. I agree. He does. He does. She's not. It's a typical Trump supporter thing to say exactly that. I love it. This is exactly what I voted for. I love everything he's doing. And it's like, yeah, what specifically? Everything. Is there anything you could tell me, like your favorite policy or anything? No, just everything. So you don't know anything, right? Pretty much. How they look, 2 different on my thing. Oh, what is this? Hold on, guys. Fucking thing. Different one. You're in a big picture. This one, you're in a small one. Shouldn't be. I only did a vertical live stream, not a horizontal and a vertical. I don't know. Host, did you regret voting for limitations? Did I regret voting for limitations? What does that mean? Was just watching the replay, pizza touring his glory. Yeah, he is. I liked Trump when I was an alcoholic, only from Ireland. LOL. Gotcha. Yeah, well, when you're an alcoholic, I guess that's an excuse. Need to step up on getting the illegals out, though. So he's not doing it quick enough for you, huh? Hey, Corn Pop, just out of curiosity, do you want them all deported? I'm just asking. I'm curious. Or just like the criminals? I couldn't be happier. Absolutely glad he is in office still and look forward more great things to happen under his watch. Can you name any of the great things that have happened under his watch so far? Voting laws, prices, having a president that is trying to put power back into the people's hands. Oh my God. You really believe that, Luis? The voting laws are simply to suppress the vote, suppress the minority vote. That's all that is. And putting power back into people's hands are out of your mind. And prices are up. The only things that are down, and this has nothing to do with Donald Trump, is gas and eggs. That's it. Eggs were only up under Biden because of the bird flu. They got that under control, and now the prices are down. If anyone was in office, the price of eggs would be down. But the price of groceries is up, rents, mortgages, new cars, utilities, everything. I'm sure you would, Rex Nation. I believe you. Yeah. Good point. Is it any coincidence that T and the island guy and everyone around him are children of pro-Nazi wannabes? I don't know, bro, but it's a good point. Guess they all are. Black angel ruling America, people, and must be impeached as soon as possible. Yes. All has to happen. So you want all the illegals out, regardless of whether or not they're criminals or anything. Is there a reason, Corn Pop POTUS? Like, what is it that makes you want them out of here so badly? I'm just asking. I'm just trying to learn from you. Drill, baby, drill. Yeah, you know we produced more oil under the Biden administration than any time in American history. Power in people's hands, sure, taking $10 billion from the lawsuit, money from tax revenues, our money. Yeah. He's suing himself for $10 billion and he's gonna pay himself. I don't regret it, but voting no. Okay. But he is a piece of crap, yes, but so we're the other choices. Wow. No, they really weren't, though. That's just it. I mean, tell me how Kamala, for example, was a piece of crap. Curious. Nope, wish he wasn't 70 years old, going on 80 as of June of this year. Well, he is. And he's only getting older. Yes, I do believe that because I research everything that I see. That's why I'm on your channel, because I want to see what the liberals think and maybe they have a good idea. But Nazis? Yeah, Nazis, definitely. But Luis, when you research, what do you find? Like, do you find that there's a lot of criminals amongst the population of illegal immigrants we have in the country? Is there specific stats you saw? Because I can't really find any anything that gives me an idea. Like 15%, 30%, 5%, 50% are criminals. I know that 5% of the people Trump deported so far are criminals. Only 5%. I know that. Just like the last Civil War, no states were allowed to vote that were Democratic. That's why he wants a Civil War again. Yeah, well, it's not going to happen. Yeah, we did. We absolutely did, Gary Ward. You can look it up. We produced more oil under Joe Biden's administration than ever in American history. Yeah. Oh, I know they were a success, Max. Anybody who actually has the information and knows politics knows that it was a success, without a doubt. Biden wasn't even Biden, man. All right. We didn't produce more oil under the Biden administration. Biden stopped the oil pipeline. The only oil bed and put on the market was our strategic reserves that are supposed to be saved for war. All right. Did America produce more oil under the Biden administration than any time in American history?
Yes. Oil production in the United States reached record highs under the Biden administration, exceeding previous records. Monthly production even surpassed 13.3 million barrels per day in December of 2023, making the U.S. the top oil producer globally, with forecasts predicting continued record-breaking production.
What do you know? I guess I was right. You do regret it. You're but you know what, though? I give you credit. There's nothing. I mean, it's embarrassing that you ever voted for Trump, sure, but it's good that you stay open-minded enough to see that he's fucking everything up, and you regret it. Because everybody should regret it. He's not doing anything good for any working class or middle class people. Nothing. Dude, my wife is not even allowed to come into the country, and we pay the lawyer $5,000, and we're on about 2 years of waiting at this point. So that makes you want all illegals deported. Am I understanding that correctly, Corn Pop? Because why exactly? Doesn't that leave you to think that when your wife does get here, she'll just be deported? No one supports illegality. Yes, MAGA does. MAGA does. MAGA supports criminals. Donald Trump is the first convicted felon to ever occupy the White House. You know, they pardoned 1,600 low life criminals who beat 140 police officers, some of which died. You know, they're okay with the pardons. He's pardoned some of the worst people in the world, and they're okay with that. So MAGA is okay with crime in general. Are you also against child poverty? Well, of course. Who wouldn't be? I mean, except for, MAGA. You guys like child poverty. Melania overstayed her visa at one point. She must be deported. Well, that's the most hypocritical thing and the most ironic thing about these jerk offs is, like, the whore first lady was basically an illegal. You know what I mean? And even if not, even if you don't want to look at it that way, which, she did overstay her visa and stuff. She's an immigrant, and you guys, they'll say all day, we're not anti-immigrant or anti-illegal immigrant. That's bullshit. You are anti-immigrant, period. You hate people of a certain color specifically. But, I mean, Melania's hot and I guess basically white, so you probably wouldn't have a problem with her. But, if you stand for something, you should stand for it all the time. Yeah, I know. All talk about illegal immigrants, but you all voted for a felony convicted with no consequences. Yep. Let me see. They don't care about laws. They don't care about people. They don't care about the country. They don't care about their neighbors. They don't care about themselves as long as their favorite pedos are safe. 100%. Yes, I am. Everybody on the left is, Hunter. It's just the MAGA people that are all for pedo stuff. You like it. You want more of it. Child trafficking, what about it? Tell me that if you're saying this is what illegals do, because again, I guess that's why you're throwing out, are you against pedophilia? Donald Trump, I know for a fact, has been accused credibly of pedophilia, probably a couple of dozen times. Yeah, I'm against that. I'm against Elon Musk trying to force his way onto Epstein's island, talking about, I want to go on the wildest party night of the week. And Howard Nutlick, same thing. I'm against pedos. Now, there's people I know, like those people I just mentioned, that were, well, Nutlick was never accused of pedo stuff. And I guess Elon wasn't either. He was just attempting to commit pedo stuff. Okay. But you guys will say that about illegals, and you have no numbers. You can't tell me any statistics. X amount of illegal immigrants have committed this crime, or this percentage of illegal immigrants are pedos. You can't, because it's impossible to even know. So it's just you saying, "Oh my God, they're child trafficking and they're fucking they're pedos and they're rapists and all this shit." Democrats equal Epstein list. This is what you call willful ignorance. Now, if you go through the Epstein list, you don't find many Democrats, if any, that have been accused of anything in there. It's all Trump. Trump is the main character in the Epstein story. And Elon Musk has emails going back and forth with Epstein asking him, what night of the week can I come to the island? And he said, I don't want a calm island vacation. I want to be there for the wildest party night of the week. What do you think that means? So you could say that, but it makes no sense, Andre, because what Democrats are in the files that were accused of anything? Tell me. Bill Clinton's one. Bill Gates. That's about it. And Bill Gates isn't actually accused of pedo stuff, but still. Impossible. There's a website with all the illegal immigrants that have been taken in so far, 2,000 something pages with their crimes. 5% of how many people do you think are on those lists? There's 5% of the people Trump deported have a criminal record. It's simple as that. And what website is that? And why would I trust it? You know what I'm saying? And what percentage? What does it tell you? What percentage of illegals are pedos, and where's the proof of it? Hell no, he's doing what I voted for. I'm sure he is. You got that left look to you, intimidated by alpha guys, athletes, good-looking guys. You heavy on the femininity, my boy. I would probably knock your fucking teeth out if we ever saw each other face to face. Honestly, you got me completely wrong. You might want to learn about me a little bit before you make those assumptions. Seriously, it couldn't be more opposite. It couldn't be more opposite. Democrats have no answer to the economy, no answer for homelessness, and the Republicans do. What's their answer for homelessness? As far as the economy is worse than it was under Biden by far right now. So what's their answers to the economy and homelessness? The right. I love when you guys look at me, you think you can make assumptions. Meanwhile, if you knew the kind of life I lived, you probably wouldn't say things like that. You are not well, mate. Is that right, mate? Funny, that website has criminals arrested from 2018 and later. 2018 and later, huh? Interesting. You're a dumbass, not one what? Do you believe in open borders? No, and I've never seen open borders in America. There hasn't been during my lifetime. About 100, maybe 110 years ago, maybe, but not since. Yeah, you don't know me, but that's okay. You're right. I'm a big pussy. Yeah, I'm nothing to worry about. Yeah, you're right, 100%. You could look at me and tell me all these things. Yeah. Bro looks like vegan Mr. Clean. You know what's funny about you guys is, like, if I brought any of you up on this show, I could roast you to death. I could roast you into therapy. But you guys, every day it's the same thing. Oh my God, he's bald. He's bald. Guys, I've been on YouTube 4.5 years. I've been called some pretty creative shit. Bald? You ain't got nothing better? Nothing better than that. Well, you all hide behind fake avatars and fake names. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Believe me, I've done pretty well for myself in life. I'm not worried about your criticism. Let me see. 1313 Mockingbird Lane, Gary. You're right. I'm a big pussy if I don't give you the address where my family lives. Yeah, you're right. Why don't you give us yours, Gary? Because I could, just by your name, you can give me your city and I'll find out everything there is to know about you. Why don't you give us your address? Typical libtard, got no woman. I'm married to a beautiful nurse, but yeah, you're right. Oh my God, they're so fucking stupid. Let me see. How come the biggest cities are run by the Democrats have the most homelessness? Because they have the most people. What, you just said it yourself, the biggest cities. Yeah, they have the most people. That's why. And we could give stats about red states too. I do it every show if you want. Red states have the highest rates of violent crime, stuff like that. Why are you guys always into gay shit? No, but never in my life, when I'm going to insult a man, would I think about him being pegged. This is why I say a lot of you guys are very closeted and, you're repressed. You're repressed. You're always thinking about gay stuff. So fucking straight. Never in my life do I think about gay shit. And you're thinking about people being pegged by a woman. I'm not surprised. Why do red states not pay enough taxes? What do you mean? Because they're poor states? You mean as far as into the federal government or what? They don't want facts. No, of course not. Nobody regrets voting for Donald Trump. That is false news. Oh, there certainly are people that regret it. There's no question about it. A lot of people. They're losing people left and right. They know that they're going to get spanked in the midterms, the Republicans. They know. There's no question about it. So that's why they're doing everything they can to cheat. There were no alternatives. Oh, Kamala wasn't running. I thought Kamala was running too. I guess I was wrong. That's the blue cities in them. No, it's not. Of course, I've studied this shit and researched it. And if you look it up, per capita, the highest rates of violent crime, in some cases, even if you don't include the blue cities, and it's because of poverty and lack of education. Those states are the least educated, poorest states. And that's always going to breed violence and crime no matter what. So it's the red rural areas on the outskirts of the cities too. It's easy access to guns is another contributor. You could look it up yourself. The highest rates of crime The red states have the highest rates of violent crime, and if it was just blue cities causing it, then why wouldn't Michigan or Illinois or New York or California have the highest rates of violent crime since they got the biggest cities and stuff? Why not some of the biggest cities? Give up the statistics. What statistics would you like? Have looked it up and it says you're a liar. Okay, well then I better look it up. What states have the highest rates of violent crime?
According to safehome.org, according to the latest FBI data, New Mexico, Alaska, and Tennessee had the highest violent crime rates. In Maine, New Hampshire, and Connecticut had the lowest. Louisiana has the highest murder rate of all 50 states,
Wow.
as well as the nation's fourth highest aggravated assault rate.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you? Guys, I don't just come on here and say shit. I know what I'm talking about. You shouldn't challenge me on things when I know what I'm talking about. You're just used to, you guys just say shit. You just throw stuff out there. So you think, everybody does what you do. No, we actually learn things. I'm looking for an actual list. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas. Let me see. Well, you get the point. Yeah. And the blue states is funny. Some of those blue states have the lowest rates of violent crime. Ain't that some shit? You're also the least educated people in America. Oh, no. You just heard it with your own ears. You just heard it with your own ears. Are you denying that? Are you denying that the red states are like the dumbest, sickest, poorest states? Because they are. They're the worst in healthcare. They're the lowest in education. They're the, the poverty levels are the highest. Cities run by leftist dumps. Well, it's funny because all the educated, intelligent, wealthy people are in those cities. Isn't that some shit? At least a lot of them. How come the most gun-controlled area have the most? Do you mean areas have the most gun crimes? Well, the gun control doesn't increase gun crimes. You do realize that, right? It decreases. When you look at these red states and you look and you find out that it's not just the blue cities, it's the red rural areas of the states that are committing all this violent crime, you'll see that one of the top 3 contributing factors is easy access to guns. Anybody can get a gun. So, although I think it's stupid, I think if you live in a dangerous blue city, you should be able to carry a gun no matter who you are personally, unless you got like real violent crimes on your record. Who cares what I think? I'm just a guy on YouTube. If the gun laws were more lax, there would be more crime, more violent crime, more gun crime. No doubt about it. I mean, you'd have to be an asshole to think differently. Joe Biden. Yeah. Donald Trump lied 30,589 times in his first term. Joe Biden. Why don't you tell me some lies Joe Biden told? I'll wait. No, it's not. It's not, bro. Then why isn't New York State? Why don't they have the highest rate of violent crime? Why doesn't California have the highest rate of violent crime? What about Illinois? Fucking Chicago's in Illinois. How come? Because it shows you in the blue states, it's those blue cities where there's violent crime. Really, on the outside of that, I'm not saying there's none, but there's not much compared to the red states. It's just the way it is. I mean, you guys can get mad all you want, but it's common fucking sense. The red states are the least educated states. In other words, there's less people in those states with high school diplomas, college degrees, and advanced college degrees than there are in blue states. They also have higher poverty levels than blue states. So obviously, where there's stupid people and they're poor to boot, there's going to be a lot of crime. Red states think that Cletus from The Simpsons is a role model. Chicago has murders every day. Yeah, I know. And Illinois still isn't on the list of states with the highest rates of violent crime. So what does that tell you? Kamala is definitely right about everything. You're so full of shit. Damn, brother. All right, Kid Cat Attack. What am I full of shit about? What am I lying about? New Mexico, Alaska, and Tennessee have the highest rates of violent crime. Yeah, and if you look, I believe There's other states like Nevada, states like that on there. A lot of the southern states, though, obviously. I usually it gives me a list. I don't know why it's not giving me a list. List of U.S. states with the highest rates of violent crime.
Based on recent data, Alaska and New Mexico have the highest violent crime rates in the U.S., often over 700 incidents per 100,000 people. Other states frequently in the top 5 include Tennessee, Arkansas, and Louisiana.
Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alaska. So fucking funny. You guys are so fucking. I'm sorry, but you really don't know a lot. You don't. You don't believe it, but it's true. Because you have a DA who doesn't yeah, okay. Now the excuses. Yeah, let me tell you something. I've lived in blue cities. They all prosecute. Prosecutors don't just let crimes go. I know this is something Fox News probably told you, but they don't. Okay, they don't. People get arrested for anything they get arrested for in red states, and they get prosecuted the same fucking way. Some more bullshit. Just because you don't like it, Jim, doesn't make it bullshit. It just makes it something you didn't know before I just told you. I am in Pennsylvania. Red states always get bailouts from the blue states. Always. Explain to these red state geniuses the difference between crime rate and number of crimes. Well, yeah, it goes per capita. So like crimes per 100,000 people, for example. And in the red states, there's more crimes per 100,000 people than there are in blue states. It's the way it goes, And again, if it was the blue cities causing all that, then, and the difference is, when you talk about the most crimes, well, bigger places, bigger cities are going to have more crimes. But in a blue city, you might very well be, have less a chance of becoming a victim of violent crime than you do in some redneck area of Alabama, because per capita, the rate is higher. So, Oh, yes, blue states are always bailing our breadsticks, but why is it blue states are always, I don't know, in financial trouble? Probably because they're saving your asses all the time. I mean, red states literally support blue states literally support the red states. Without them, they'd go bankrupt. Blue hair, nose ring, liberal blue states. Yeah, that's what it's funny because you guys have been convinced by that, I guess, by Fox News and stuff. But I know nothing but liberals, and none of them have that. Isn't it funny? They're just normal people, Now, if you want to talk about funny looking motherfuckers, go to a Trump rally. I mean, it's 90% of the people are morbidly obese, and there's usually more people than there are teeth, So. And believe me, those blue-haired people with nose rings are a lot smarter and more successful than you are. I know you don't like to hear it, but again, facts are facts. Oh, there you go. He's got the list. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Missouri, Maryland, South Carolina, Tennessee, Illinois, Arkansas, Georgia. God damn. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for doing that because I couldn't find the list. So there you go. And I'm assuming the numbers, what is that, 11 out of every 100,000 or something like that? Or no, it can't be that. What is that exactly? No, I don't regret it. Well, I thank you, Ollivander IRL. Thank you. But please subscribe, guys. Hit the like button and subscribe. It's very, very important. And also, if you wouldn't mind, if you didn't bet all your money on the Super Bowl, please send a super chat if you can. All these channels need money to run. That's why YouTube has the super chat system going and all that. So I'd appreciate it if you could do that. I don't. That's just you assuming something about me, which is what you guys like to do a lot. You just like to assume shit about people. Like the guy earlier, he thinks I'm some pussy from like suburbia or something. He has no idea my life. He has no fucking idea. It couldn't be more opposite. You guys look at me and you see somebody that's soft or something. You're making a big mistake. And I'm no liberal either, really. I'm no liberal. I'm on the left. You could definitely say that, but I'm not a liberal. Liberals believe in a lot of shit I don't believe in. I'm kind of starting to regret my vote for Trump only because he took that golden meme down from his Truth Social. It's crazy. So in other words, you're just racist. In other words, the guy only regrets his vote for Trump because Trump took down the picture of Barack and Michelle Obama as monkeys. Hey, you're not hurting my feelings. You're just exposing yourself to be who you are. But that's also why you're using a fake name and a fake avatar, because you would never say that under your real name because it could hurt you in life. No, I was a wonderful son to my mother. I took care of her for years. You too, man. Yeah, you don't know me though, Billy. You know, you can make those assumptions, but I'll tell you what, I'm showing my face on here and I'm not hiding behind any avatar or fake name, you know? So, well, technically Street Smart Politics, not my name, but it's well known on YouTube. I've been on YouTube 4.5 years. So yeah, but you know, keep talking about me instead of politics. Cause you know, politics, you don't know anything about. Both sides are full of irrational people, the left and right. To some extent, but not like it's still not as bad as the right. They're the most irrational people in the world. Trump's only a second generation American, second generation, folks. I know. Well, they ignore all that. Trump is a rapist, pedophile, felon, racist. He is. He absolutely is. I would vote for President Trump again today. I bet you would, Tommy. I bet, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I bet you don't know the first thing about politics. I guarantee it. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button and subscribe. It's very, very important. Yes, you're right. Well, I don't think so. I know that I know better than MAGA. Not everybody else, just MAGA. And anybody on the left does. You guys have been fooled. I got to say this on every show, but never forget that Donald Trump is world famous for being a con man. And somehow, even with that knowledge, you fall for his bullshit. You allow him to con you. I can't be conned by anybody. I can see through people. I'm a bullshit detector. But especially if you come to me and you have a reputation of being a con man, you don't even stand a fucking chance. Because I wouldn't even give you the chance. But you guys know this about Donald Trump, and you're like, yeah, but maybe he's telling the truth this time. Yeah, right. Yeah. Not per capita, leprechaun ginger, or violent crime, at least. Violent crime, not per capita. Red states do. All you dickwads who bitch about the channel being boring, but you are here, fuck stick, whining about it and contributing to the view count. I know the channel sucks. I suck, but here they are watching. The right has a better sense of humor. Oh my God, are you kidding me? First of all, you're the cheesiest people on the planet. You wouldn't know a funny joke if it kicked you in the ass. And number two, you guys, the people who just years ago were talking about comedians and how it's just comedy. Why are you trying to censor comedy? And comedy should be free speech. And now you're trying to censor comedians and stuff. I just think it's hilarious. You believe in free speech for anybody who agrees with you. If they disagree with you, it's a no-go. Uses states for his narrative. No. I was giving you some information about the way it works. You guys always like to talk about, let me break it down for you like this. You guys like to talk about, how is he racist? I don't know. He was sued in 1972 for refusing to rent apartments to black people. He put up a picture of Michelle Obama and Barack Obama as monkeys, stuff like that. And there's a million things in between. He started this campaign by saying Mexicans are rapists. Anyway, you guys you stay with that talking point. Look at the blue cities. They're all shitholes, Democrat-run blue cities. But if you look into facts, if you research these cities and you research red states and all that shit, you'll see that the people in those blue cities are way, way better off than you. Not all of them, of course not. But blue states, I'll tell you like this. If you look at the 2024 electoral map, the least educated states, in other words, the states with the worst standardized testing scores and the lowest rates of high school graduates and college graduates, those states all voted for Donald Trump. That's a fact. Okay. 9 out of the 10 dumbest states in this country voted for Donald Trump. On the other hand, for Kamala, it was the most educated, wealthiest states in this country voted for her. So if that doesn't tell you something, I know when I say, liberals and people on the left know more than you, it's not really just my opinion. It's kind of a fact. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you guys are told by the Republican Party all the time not to go to college, not to send your kids to college. Colleges and universities are a waste of time. Meanwhile, all of those guys telling you that, they all went to college or universities, and they're all sending their kids or have already sent their kids to colleges and universities. It's just because they need a dumb electorate. That's why they keep you down. That's why your educational system sucks in your states, because they can't have a well-informed electorate. They'll never win another election. All those states would flip to blue once people actually learn stuff about politics and shit. Helmut, $4.99. Is it possible all the billionaires are working together, Democrat and Republican, Democrat and Republican? Yes. Thank you for the $4.99. Top 10 most violent major cities, blue overwhelmingly. Indianapolis is the only one that is leaning red. Those blue cities show the data for the entire state. Yes, and we have spoken about that repeatedly, just on this live stream alone. Yeah, blue states, blue cities, but we're talking about states. Nobody ever even made the cities argument. Red states have the highest rates of violent crime. For fuck's sake, see Silver, you don't understand? And again, your only defense is, well, that's only because of the blue cities in those states. Yet states like New York, California, Illinois, Detroit, they're not even in the top fucking 5. And some of these are some of the biggest blue cities in the entire country. New York and LA are the 2 biggest. But California and New York are not even on the list for states with the highest violent crime rate. It's all redneck fucking red states. Why is that? If it's only blue cities that all the crime is happening in. You don't realize that alone proves your point is ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous to say, well, red states have the highest rates of violent crime, but let's look at blue states. I don't get it. And he looks up top 10 most violent major cities. He didn't even look up. I mean, what was your point in looking that up? Violent crime rates compared to other places, or you just put 10 most violent major cities. So in other words, even in the question, you're looking for the most violent cities. You're not just looking for information. It's a pointed question. The answer I want is to be about blue cities, the major cities. So I'm going to ask it in a way so that's the only information I get. Guys, please hit the like button and subscribe. It's very important. I need to get a lot of subs today. You know why? It's because I want to. So please hit the like button and subscribe. If you're a good guy, if you're a bad guy, I don't care. Democrats are America's #1 enemies. Tell me how. College is not educational, you skin-headed fuck. They indoctrinate students. Look at this dickhead. College is not educational. 1 sentence. You skin-headed fuck. Another sentence. They indoctrinate students. Another sentence. America is ranked 44th in the world in education, and if we MAGA don't go to school, means you Democrats are ranked 44th. What? I don't even know what that means. But again, Democrat, I'll say it again because apparently you didn't understand me. The least educated states in the country are red states. Therefore, they have the stupidest people in them. So if we're 44th in the world, it's probably because of all you uneducated hillbillies adding to that figure. Do you understand? I don't think what other way can I tell you to make you understand? What are the least educated states in America?
Based on recent studies, the states often considered least educated in America are West Virginia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and New Mexico, due to factors like low numbers of people with bachelor's degrees and school quality.
Yeah. Let's see the whole list. West Virginia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, New Mexico, Nevada, Alabama, Kentucky, Oklahoma, and Texas. What else do you need to know, guys? It's just the way it is. And that's why, because you've been brainwashed into believing stuff like college. Think about what this guy's first ridiculous sentence says. College is not educational. Meanwhile, That's exactly. You're telling me that when you go to college, you don't learn anything. So, like, if you go to college, say to be a doctor or a lawyer, you don't actually learn how to do that. You just become indoctrinated, and somewhere along the line, you figure out how to succeed in that field. You don't actually learn the law or medicine or anything like that, right? Think about what you're saying. This is why you guys stay uninformed and, uneducated, because you've been forced into believing it's only them goddamn blue-haired liberals that go to colleges and universities and do all that learning shit. You know, they they've fucking they've absolutely brainwashed you to the extreme maximum. They've convinced you that the dumber you are, the smarter you are. It's amazing, right? Now look what they do. Watch. Who did this guy put in there? Math scores in Baltimore. Again, so he picks one blue city when we're talking about states and red states specifically. Notice, Patrick, if you were actually in the conversation, if you were understanding what's going on, then you would know we were talking about states, and you would know that Maryland is not on the list of the least educated states in the country. So you're just picking one city from one state, and then somehow you're making a comparison between that and all those red states that are horrible as far as education goes. Yeah, no, they don't. No. They don't. And the fact that you believe that tells me you're probably not very bright. Now, I'm not saying that colleges and universities teach common sense. If you don't have common sense, you don't have common sense. But bottom line is, when you go to college, there is a 100% chance that when you leave college, you're going to be smarter than when you went in. You're going to know more than when you went in. Otherwise, what did you do? Like, just sleep in like a locker room for fucking 4 years? I mean, you didn't go to any classes. People get degrees because they learn things. They take tests, exams, they write papers, all kinds of shit like that. So they must be learning something, right? And plus, don't forget, what's a course a lot of people take in college? Economics. Economics is crucial. If you don't understand economics at all, then you might not want to vote, because that's something crucial that you should have some sort of awareness of before you pick a nominee or a candidate, because you don't know anything about the economy. So people go to college and they learn about things like economics. When you look at people like Parker Get a Job, that dude, and Dean Withers, they're the two best liberal debaters probably anywhere. They demolished Charlie Kirk, demolished him. He ducked them for years, and then they finally got a hold of him and demolished him. Well, each one of them at different times. Those kids have economics degrees and stuff. They went to college. They are fucking brilliant. These kids are 22 years old, and they could bury anybody in a debate. Anybody. They're liberals. They destroyed Charlie Kirk. Like I said, that's your hero, the guy you think is the best debater, which he never really was. So that goes to show you, college, they weren't born with that knowledge. Go watch them. Forget about me. Watch Parker Get a Job and Dean Withers, and watch them debate people. They leave people stunned in silence. People don't even know what they're talking about because they're so much smarter than them. It's hilarious, actually. Helmut, $4.99. I voted for Trump, but the blue states have better education, and I think the crime rate is because of the mayor and the governor of the state. Well, it just depends. There's a lot of, thank you for the $4.99. There's a lot of contributing factors. First of all, if you just go by the amount of crime, blue cities have the most people, so they're going to have the most crime. If you go per capita, then things like certain areas of blue cities, bad areas, ghettos, stuff like that, where there's a lower level of education, more people without high school diplomas and college degrees, and then the fact that they live in poverty and stuff, that's going to, anywhere you go, that's going to contribute to the crime rate. Now here's the thing: in the blue cities, you have that. What the MAGA people refuse to acknowledge is that you also have that in the red states, not the blue cities in the red states, but all those rural areas. Guys, the poorest people in this country live in the red rural areas, not the blue cities. That's where the poorest people live. So what does that tell you? What are the poorest states in the U.S.?
The states with the lowest incomes and highest consistently Mississippi, Louisiana, New Mexico, West Virginia, and Arkansas. These states often have poverty rates over 16 to 19%, which is nearly double the national average.
Mississippi, Louisiana, New Mexico, West Virginia, Arkansas, Kentucky, Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Tennessee. So that's now we've gone over the least educated, the poorest, and the crime, and they're all red states. But when you guys talk about, oh my God, you guys keep voting Democrat and look at your blue cities. Well, we could say the same to you. You guys are poor, uneducated, and sick because those states are also the worst when it comes to healthcare. They're like last when it comes to healthcare. Okay. So you guys stay in these poor, sick, dumb states. You stay poor, sick, and dumb, and you keep voting for the same fucking people to keep you poor, sick, and dumb. You haven't learned your lesson. In 50 fucking years, you're still voting against your own best interest. The fact that any of you believe that Donald Trump cares about you is mind-blowing to me. Donald Trump would sell his firstborn for the right price. He doesn't care about you people. He despises and looks down upon working people. That's why he's not doing anything to help you. Even the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime thing turned out to be complete bullshit. He's not doing anything to help you. He's not. Look at SNAP and stuff when he refused to release those contingency funds to fund SNAP. I saw the food lines in those red states. There wasn't no black people and Mexicans and shit. Long lines of white MAGA people because there was people there roasting them. Where's your MAGA hat today? And they were getting pissed off because they're the poorest people. Owsley County, Kentucky gets the most SNAP funding of any county in America, and it's 99.2% white and 95% Republican. So, I'm just saying that when we have these arguments, you guys walk in here all confident, like you know stuff. Take some of these things into consideration and keep an open mind enough to say, well, you know what? Maybe I don't know that much. If this guy keeps constantly proving me wrong and proving that everything I'm saying is the opposite of the truth, maybe I should research like he does and learn things, Let me see this. How long have you been profiting off of the shtick? Where those undereducated state hillbillies when they voted for Billary? I don't know who Billary is. Barack and Joe. Where those undereducated? What does that mean exactly? Where those undereducated state hillbillies? What does that mean? Are you missing a word in that sentence? No, I don't research. You're right. Yeah, I don't know any of this stuff off the top of my head. Educated is a misnomer and poorer people can't afford delusions. Wow. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my fucking life. You keep telling yourself the economy is not improving. The economy is not improving. The GDP improved after we had a contraction in the first quarter. Okay? That's improved. It is a fact, guys, that right now unemployment is higher than it's been since COVID, since 2021. It's higher than it was under Biden. Joe Biden brought it down to 3.4% and kept it under 4% longer than any period of time in history. It is now, it's either 4.6, it might have gone down to 4.4. Okay? Jobs numbers are horrendous. He lost like 110,000 jobs in January. Same in October. He's not gaining jobs. He's losing them. Joe Biden was creating about 180,000 jobs a month on average after all of the revisions and stuff. Trump, I think within his first year, he created about 500,000, and 4 months out of a 6-month period, he lost jobs each of those 4 months. I mean, groceries are higher. That's just a fact. All right. Everything is more expensive because of tariffs. Utilities are through the fucking roof because of Trump's bullshit. New cars cost more. Rents cost more. Mortgages cost more under Donald Trump than they did under Biden. If you don't believe me, go right ahead and fact check it while I'm talking. You guys have access to the same information I have. You just never look for any of it. So the economy, I know you want it to be doing great because it's your guy in there and he's a magician. He's a wizard who could just snap a finger and fix everything. But the bottom line is when he left office in 2021, the economy was destroyed, completely destroyed. He lost 2.5 million fucking jobs. He's only the second president in history to leave with less jobs than he entered office with. He had a 6.6% unemployment rate. He's not a good president. Guys, he's sitting around worried about. I heard somebody earlier, as a MAGA person on one of the podcasts I listened to, and she spoken out many times in favor of Trump, loves Trump, and she said, "Okay, I don't get it. When do we turn our backs? Like we're sitting around worried about paying our bills and our grocery costs and." How to make it from one week to the next. And this guy is spending all his time trying to figure out what he can name after himself. And she was 100% right. I mean, your fucking president is worried about his ballroom. He's worried about, what is it, Dulles Airport? And what's the other place now? He's threatening them. He's going to take funding or something if they don't change the name to his name. The guy fucking took a participation trophy, which you guys are supposed to be against, from a leader of another fucking country. Because he couldn't get his own Nobel Peace Prize. This is the shit he's worried about. Every day, every night, he's putting up Truth Social posts about nonsense. You guys want to say, that Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, somehow that wasn't racist, right? The only black president and first lady portrayed as monkeys. Yeah, that's not racist at all, right? But here's the thing. Let's just say it wasn't, which it is. What is the president of the United States doing posting anything on social fucking media? You should be doing your job. He posts nonsense. He posts videos of himself flying over a No Kings protest, shitting all over them. This is the president of the United States, and you guys take him seriously. You guys take this fucktard seriously.
So, supposing we hit the body with a tremendous...
We'll get back to that one. Let me see. Let me show you the guy you support. Let me see. Here we go.
Once you get to the...
Now, if Joe Biden did that ever, but especially, on live TV like that, well, he's supposed to be giving a speech, you guys would demand that he is released under the 25th Amendment or removed under the 25th Amendment because of severe mental illness. And you would be correct in doing so. Okay? I mean, the fucking guy is out of his mind.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And that debate with Kamala, Donald Trump was screaming like a madman. Well, Kamala was laying out policy proposals for expanded child tax credit, more negotiation with drug companies to lower prescription drug prices, giving women back their reproductive rights, $25,000 towards a new house for people, $50,000 tax credit for people starting a new small business. And this is what Trump was doing.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Which, by the way, was all bullshit because as soon as he got elected, you never heard another word about that nonsense. Even the woman who made up the rumor came out and said, listen, it was just a Facebook rumor I made up. They're not eating dogs and cats. But this is the president of the United States. This is the shit he has on his fucking mind. And he's such a weak leader. And he's so fucking owned and operated by Putin. This fucking guy had to call Putin a couple of months back and ask him, is it okay if I give Ukraine tomahawks? Well, I guess Putin said no because they never got their tomahawks. I mean, this is the guy you see as an alpha. That's why when you guys look at me and you say I'm a beta and this and that, you guys are the biggest pussies on earth to me because you cower for a man. You give up any dignity, self-respect, pride you might have so you can fucking kiss this guy's feet and treat him like he's a god. And I've never respected men that have role models, or people that they look up to. I could never imagine being that way. But you guys worship this man like he's a god. And you're supposed to be men. You're supposed to be strong men, leaders, and you're all followers. The guy shows up in the Epstein files, tons of accusations of pedophilia. You got no problem with it. You're like, no, I don't care. I did a poll in this chat one time. I asked the chat, if Donald Trump is proven to be a pedo in the pedophiles, a pedo in the Epstein files, how many of you will stop supporting him? 8% said you'd stop supporting him. 8. Then I asked, how many of you will stop supporting him if he stops deporting Mexicans? 30% of you said you would stop supporting him. So pedo stuff to you is not even a deal breaker. It's not even high up on the list. That you don't even mind. When you thought this was Democrats, you were losing your shit. Oh my God, they're running a pedo ring out of a pizza parlor basement. Now you find who the real elite pedos are. Elon, Trump, people like that. And you're like, nope, I don't believe it. You don't even care because he's your guy and you're going to stand by him no matter what. That's why when you guys call me a pussy and tell me I look soft, you don't understand the way I look down upon you guys. Like, there's not a tough bone in any of your bodies because nobody who's a real man could ever be like this. Now, I could never be brainwashed. I could never have a cult leader. I can never, worship a man the way you do. I never worship a woman the way you worship this guy. Forget a man. Helmut. 499. Joe Biden had the highest interest rate in the last 10 years. Joe Biden had the highest interest rate in the last 10 years. Well, do you know how interest rates work? Do you know that the interest rates go up when the economy is good and they go down when the economy is bad? That's how it works. So what does that tell you? Yeah, I'm good. Don't worry about me. This is relaxing to me, clowning you guys. 95% approval for Trump. Lone Ranger, where did you pull that out of your ass? He's got like a 36% approval rating, if that. You're talking about amongst Republicans. I saw these numbers this morning. I'll give you an example. The poll he's talking about isn't even a general approval poll. It's about immigration, how Trump is handling immigration. Independents, like 39% of them said they approved. Democrats, it was like, it might have been like 16%, something like that. Republicans, 95%. 95. So that's your 95%, Lone Ranger. You guys like to do that. You like to cherry pick. You'll take the Republican approval rating for Trump and then state it like it's the general approval rating when it's not. He's got the lowest approval ratings pretty much in history. It's him, George Bush, and Richard Nixon have the lowest approval ratings of any presidents in American history. Joe Biden never went as low as Trump did. Trump got an approval rating at one point of 34%. And right now he's got a 64% disapproval rating. What's AI? Oh, yeah, right. Shut up. You love her and she's a moron. Who are you talking about? Kamala? I don't love no politician. But Kamala, listen, when you say that, being who you are, now I don't know you, but you're watching me on a Sunday, you're sitting in here chilling. I'm going to assume you're not exactly real successful in life, right? You probably don't have a lot going on. You're probably not good with women, probably don't have many friends, probably a social misfit, basically. And dumb as a box of rocks, and you probably make 30 grand a year. Now, you're comparing yourselves, because you are. When you say somebody is stupid, it's like you saying you're smarter than them. Okay. So the woman who graduated from Howard University became a prosecutor, then a district attorney, then an attorney general, then a U.S. senator, then a vice president, then the Democratic nominee for president of the United States is dumb. And let me guess, you're smarter. Donald Trump talks on a third grade level. He speaks on a third grade level. Kamala is 1,000 light years smarter than Trump could ever be if he lived 500 lifetimes. So is Joe Biden, by the way. She's an idiot. How so? I could show you the debate. We can watch it right now. She ate him alive in that debate. She ate him alive. Yeah, that's not even, Jordan, that's just what you guys say because you're animals. You're probably thinking of your mother or your daughter or something. No, she had a relationship with a guy for a year. 11 years after him and his wife separated. That's it. And then years after that is when her career began to kick off. So It's crazy that you think that, but let me just remind you that all of her positions, except for her first one, they were all elected. In other words, people had to vote for her and she had to win the elections to become district attorney, attorney general, U.S. senator, vice president. So how do you blow your way to elected positions? That's the funny thing about you guys is you all repeat the same thing. She's stupid. She blew her way to the top. Meanwhile, it's literally an impossibility that that's how she got to the top. An impossibility. I think they said between all her elections, she got 12 million votes in California. So she blew 12 million people. Yeah, I'm sure. Kamala was a hoe bag. How? Because she dated a guy whose wife was fine with it because they were legally separated for 11 years. And his wife said that she didn't want, they didn't want to get a divorce for whatever reasons. They decided not to get legally divorced. So she's a hoe bag just because you say so. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, there's proof he's a pedo, and no, he's not a pedo. You could say anything, you don't need proof. But we talk about Trump being a pedo, you need proof. Let me see this, McFly. I'm a woman. I just have a hangover. Live a very good life, actually. Own a lovely home. Just drank a lot and had a lot of sex last night and this morning. Well, good for you, McFly. But I believe you're the one that made the comment. Would you consider yourself more intelligent than Kamala Harris? Just out of curiosity. Juan Cologne, $1 if I Google Trump's ratings 40 to 45%. If that's true, that's now. It wasn't that recently. It was down to 36. And that's not good either. Those are not good approval ratings either. He has a 64% disapproval rating right now. You could check it out. Oh, there you are. Thanks for the $1, fuckface. Obama is mentioned over 2,500 times in the Epstein files. For what? For what? Because nothing like Trump was. I mean, if Obama was mentioned in the files, it's because he was the president of the United States. It's just like Trump. Trump was, his name is in 5,400 files, a total of 38,000 times. Except 98% of it, he's not, I don't think he is either. I think they just say that, Pepper Moon. But I didn't see any proof. Matter of fact, I looked it up. It said Biden's not even mentioned in the files. But if they are, it's just about him being president. Because Donald Trump, like 98% of the shit in the files is just him being talked about because he was the president. He was friends with Epstein. And they were talking about his lawyer in one case and he was mentioned, stuff like that. It's that other 2% or so that's all pedophilia accusations. You don't see any of that about Obama. I know you'd like to, but it ain't there. You see what I mean? David Russell projects onto me. David, you would blow that guy and you'd let him fuck your wife and then blow him. Let's be honest, bro. You fucking cult members. You'd give him your firstborn daughter if that's what he wanted. You turn him right over to Epstein if Epstein was still alive, as long as Trump told you to. Obama was not mentioned once. Trump family 38,000. Yeah, I didn't think Obama was mentioned once. Biden is not in the files, you inbred MAGA cuck. Yeah, I mean, you guys, you could try all you want to put bullshit in the chat, but the bottom line is Trump is in there 38,000 times. And many of those times are for some seriously sickening, depraved sexual shit. Now, guys, do me a favor and please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. It's very important. If you're one of the good guys, if you're a bad guy, you're probably not gonna, it means you don't like me, right? But if you're a good guy, you probably agree with me and we're like-minded. So why not subscribe, help me out, support the channel. And I do these shows every day. And if you want to watch them, you can. If not, just ignore them. But subscribe either way. And also, if you guys can contribute financially, monetarily, please donate to a super chat or something of that sort. Hold on, Juan. I don't believe that one to be true. You're wrong about that. The disapproval rating. There's no way. Okay, if this is for today, the president's net approval rating is negative 15%, up 2.2% since last week, 41% approve, 56% disapprove, 5% not sure. I still say it's 64%, but either way. And I'm assuming you guys think this is good, right? Midterms equals impeachment. Yeah, well, yeah, it means a lot of other shit too if the Democrats win, but they will do anything in their power to cheat. They're going to cheat every way possible. That's why Trump called up Greg Abbott and said, name the source for what, Redster? Called Greg Abbott and said, I need you to find me 5 more House seats, you know? That's theeconomist.com. And that's based on polls from, let me see if this is even today, because I'm not even sure if this is brand new. Hold on. 1 hour ago. Let's see. Okay. This is about the same. This is whatever this is called. This is natesilver.net. I believe he's a pollster or something, right? Latest on Trump's approval rating. After a consistent downward trend, Donald Trump's approval rating has leveled out and somewhat improved this week. Today, it's up to negative 13.7% on net compared to negative 14.6% 1 week ago. So he's underwater by that much. And again, him, Nixon, and George W. Bush have had the lowest approval ratings of any presidents in American history. Wish the Democrats would have a spine and do the right thing. Yeah, me too. He doesn't want you to be right. Fucking what? Who was doing that? Somebody was doing that in my first chat today. Instead of saying one, they were saying one. He does not want just to be correct. What I just read, isn't that about what you said? I mean, what do you want? I'm looking at the sources. That's what it tells me. Am I wrong? You're telling me I'm wrong, Juan? You Democrats are crybabies and hypocrites. Tell me how, Magic Johnson. Tell me how. What's hypocritical? I'll wait. Seriously, I want to have this conversation with Magic Johnson because he threw some accusations out there. How are we crybabies and hypocrites? %90 Democrats in files. Yeah, that's not true. Where'd he go? Answer my fucking question wherever you are. You're still a moron. I'll vote for him a 4th time. Oh, I believe you would, which means, believe it or not, that you're the moron. Stupid ass. I know you don't understand politics, but believe me, you're voting against your own best interest. He means we actually complain about the people we elect. No, that's not what he means, but we do. We do, Spardad, we do. Yeah, they won't do it. They can't. I could tell you bad shit about Biden, Obama, Kamala, anybody. But you guys, when it comes to Trump, man, there's nothing he's done that's wrong. Why would I regret voting for Trump? Gee, I don't know. There's no reason. No reason. The fact that you even have to ask that is astonishing. Oh, is she? For what, though, Juan? For what's she in there for? Thank you for the $1. Whoopies in the files? For what? You guys still mad Trump and can't get over it. You're still mad Trump and can't get over it. Magic, listen, you got to remember something. When you talk about hypocrites, look at what you're saying to us. You guys still bitch and moan, cry like fucking babies, trying to convince the world that your guy won in 2020 when he got his ass handed to him by Joe Biden. By 7 million votes he lost to Joe Biden. You guys still complain about that to this day. None of us complained or threw a fit when Trump got elected. We just said, all right, well, me personally, I said, all right, well, I'm going to do a politics channel about this and I'm going to make a lot of fucking money. You know, nobody's crying that the guy's president. People have the right to complain about what the president is doing. And you guys did that more than anyone. Forget about when Obama was all in office and you were calling his families monkeys and every fucking thing else. Biden alone, the FJB t-shirts, the chants, let's go Brandon. I mean, you guys are hyper obsessed to this day. When I talk badly about Trump, you bring up Biden. You're the most obsessed people in the world about a guy who hasn't been president for over a year. Yeah, Juan, but Jay-Z and Beyonce. But the reason I ask why is because what are they in there for? Like, in other words, a lot of people in there, like Howard Lutnick, for example. I hate him with a fucking passion. And he did want to go to Epstein's Island, but he also wanted to bring his wife and kids. So there's a good reason to believe that Howard Nutlick wasn't looking to, do any pedo shit there. So even though he's mentioned, and even in relation to the island, it doesn't really say anything about him. So other than the fact that for some reason he wants to take his children and his wife to a convicted pedophile's island. Okay, I take it back. But what are these people in there for? Are they in there just because somebody's talking about their music or what? Grooming. Yeah, I doubt it, Juan. I highly doubt it. After so many lies about Trump have been disproven, it's hard to take any of you leftists serious about anything. I guarantee you none of the lies have been disproven. Tell me which ones, Tom Stowe, which ones have been disproven? What does licked up mean? You mean locked up? Well, it's not about us wanting him locked up, Dan. He was a criminal. He still is a criminal. And don't you want criminals locked up? Because we do. You're supposed to be tough on crime, right? Trump's a criminal. I want this guy to tell me what the lies were about Trump that have been disproven. That's not a theory. That really happened. Donald Trump stood in front of all of us on national TV and said, Russia, if you're listening, please find me the 30,000 emails. You'll be rewarded greatly. That's Russian collusion, period, the end. Whether or not they found enough or decided there was something worth charging him with, that's something else. Doesn't mean he didn't do it. Plus, a lot of his people went to prison because of that investigation for things like lying about communication with certain Russians, okay, stuff like that. So you could say it's bullshit, but it was never bullshit. And they never said, ever was it said that Trump did not collude with Russia. That was never said. Never. Steele dossier. Well, I guess I'll give you that one, I guess. I don't even know. To tell you the truth, I don't even know much about the Steele dossier. But very fine people. You think that's really a big deal? Very fine people. I mean, I've acknowledged many times that he did say that. I mean, there's no questioning. You can't question that he said there's very fine people on both sides. It's just that later in the speech, he said, not the neo-Nazis, some shit like that. They're not good people. But never say there's good people on both sides when one side is made up of neo-Nazis. You understand? It's not a bright thing to do. So, and that's it. That's what you got. That's what Trump being at his island. Nobody ever said Trump was at his island. I've been saying on here for months and months, there's no proof he's been on the island, just like Clinton. No proof. Oh, Biden wasn't president for 4. I don't even know who you're talking about. Is that supposed to be Obama or Biden? Oh, Biden. So fucking weird, these people, man. They're so retarded. They're like third graders. No lies have been disproven, just his lies. Well, his lies have been proven, yeah, to be lies. I'm a criminal? How? What's my name? You suck. You sucked anal be. Oh my God, another gay guy. That's all right. I don't mind gay people. But what's my name? What's my name exactly? Helmut Kohl on hypocrites. Deportation is bad when Trump is involved, but Obama can deport more and more. And Democrats wanted the wall until Donald Trump got in office is bad when Trump is involved. It's not hypocrites. Deportation, nobody has a problem with it. It's done differently, Helmut. Thank you for the $9.99. But remember, I mean, tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm wrong. When I say, oh, Mr. Donovich, I'm sorry I missed that, $1.99. Remember when Trump said he wasn't heaven bound? He said there's no chance of him getting into heaven. He said it at the prayer breakfast the other morning. So he knows. But Helmut, I got to explain this on every show for some odd reason, but just because one president deported and the other president deported doesn't mean it was the same. Show me when, under Obama, old ladies were getting knocked down in the street. American citizens were getting locked up for hours, only for ICE to find out they're American citizens. A guy like Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was ordered by a judge not to be deported, gets deported to a fucking prison in El Salvador where people are tortured every day and they don't leave until they're fucking dead, only for the Supreme Court to say you got to send them back. And even Trump's lawyers admitted in court it was a procedural mistake. Okay. Then add the people who are getting killed in the street or doing nothing wrong, at least nothing that warrants the death penalty. You never saw this under Clinton, Obama, or anyone. There is no comparison between the way Obama deported people and the way Trump is. It's not the same. It's not. What makes Trump a criminal? All right, well, let's start with, let me see. Well, let's go back to, all right, we'll go with the one he was convicted of first. So he paid a hush money payment to a porn star that he fucked behind his current wife's back while she was at home with their newborn. That was election interference. Okay, that was a crime. He covered up that crime by falsifying business records 34 times. Those 34 crimes were misdemeanors turned into a felony by the fact that they were committed to cover up another crime. So there's some. Then when he wouldn't return the classified files, even though the FBI kept asking, like when they asked Biden and he just said, oh, here you go. He refused to return them. He got indicted for that. That's a crime. That's why he got raided. He's not persecuted. He was raided because he refused to give the classified files back. So that was a crime he got indicted with. He got indicted with trying to overturn a free and fair election. Okay. He got indicted for calling Raffensperger on the phone in Georgia and saying, I need you to find me 11,000 votes. These are things he got indicted for that he was in fact guilty of, no matter how you slice it. I heard the phone call. Raffensperger keeps telling him, Mr. President, there are no more votes. We've done recounts, audits. There's no more votes. I need you to find me 11,000 votes. That's his way of saying, just fabricate them. That is a crime. That's just some of the stuff. There is a ton of shit. Even the stuff he's doing right fucking now. He's committing crimes. He's been a criminal his entire fucking life. Sorry, somebody just sent me a picture. He's been a criminal his entire life. What else did he get indicted for? There's a classified documents case, the election interference case. You know, he hired the fake slates of electors. He was going to try to steal the election. The only person that attempted to steal the 2020 election was Donald Trump. Plus, he was found civilly liable for sexual assault, and the judge said that that's equal to being found, guilty in a court of law, in a criminal court of law. So that's great right there. And he's been accused of, I don't even know how many fucking crimes. And you can't say, oh, he's just accused, because how come everybody isn't in the files the same way he is? How come all the billionaires aren't in the files? Because you'll always say, oh, it's because they want to sue him and get money. How come he's the only one with this many sexual assault allegations? How come? Oh, also, what he got impeached for. He tells Zelensky on the phone, I'm going to cut off your funding unless you give me dirt on Joe Biden. That's a crime. There's many crimes to mention when it comes to him. Mr. Dunovich, 199. Oh, that's the one I read. I'm sorry. I remember when he said he wasn't heaven bound. Yeah. Well, they investigated all this, the Republicans, and there was no wrongdoing. They found no wrongdoing. They cleared him of any wrongdoing. That's a fact. The Republican House Oversight Committee. So you might think so, but an impeachment is just simply a formal charge. Okay. It just means you've been formally charged with a crime, and they couldn't impeach him. They wouldn't even take a vote on it. So what does that tell you? The kids were in cages under Trump too. You forget. Helmut, $4.99. Trump ran on Law and Order, so he's trying to get the criminals out and innocent people got deported. Yes, that's right. Thank you very much for the $4.99. The guy is pardoning fucking to some of the worst people in the world, and that doesn't bother you either. Fulton County didn't cheat. There's no proof that they did. What got thrown out, Juan? Which one? You're talking about the one Eileen Cannon threw out? Yeah, she took a $20,000 bribe from Donald Trump, 25,000, I think. She was a MAGA cult member. That case would have been refiled, believe me. It would have been. The only reason it didn't get refiled is because he was elected president. It didn't get thrown out because it was bullshit. It got thrown out because the judge was a Trump loyalist and was not going to help prosecute him. That's a fact. That's a fact. Exactly. That's why you don't defend criminals, because you ate in a bite of criminal. All right. Yeah, but again, Juan, it got thrown. It's the same thing as like you said with the Biden shit. You think that that he should have been charged with crimes, except they said no, you know? And again, Eileen Cannon, everybody knows that was bullshit. It was complete and total bullshit. But all the other charges, like the ones that didn't get thrown out, the majority of them, they would have gone through. He was going to trial for that Georgia election interference case. Or the election, whatever the fuck it was called. I forget, when he tried to, get Raffensperger to find him votes so he could steal the election. He was going on trial like a couple of weeks after he got elected. That's the only reason that, yeah, but in this case, you're talking about a Trump loyalist throwing out Trump's case, whereas I'm talking about Republicans cleared Biden of any wrongdoing, not Democrats. So when your enemies, the people that have sworn to prosecute you by any means necessary, say, well, you didn't do anything wrong. I mean, that probably means you didn't do anything wrong. Bro, stop saying Trump has dementia when Biden does too. Don't be hypocritical. It's funny you say that, Magic Johnson, because not once during this live stream did I ever say Trump has dementia, but he does. He does. And Biden might. Biden's definitely fucked up, but I know Trump has dementia. I've seen more crazy, demented shit come from Trump than Biden. What does this say? Okay, and what about all the times this is a gun on, and yet here we are today having the same old conversations while law should be followed, not ignored, or if they are enforced. Cassie, what in the fuck are you talking about? What? This is a gun on? What are you talking about? Yeah, she does, William Hope. Navy SEAL pardoned of war crimes by Trump, described by colleagues as freaking evil. He's pardoned some of the worst people in the world. I don't even know. What are you referring to? A tax increase? I don't know anything about it. Virginia Democrat politician's new tax bill, HB 188. Do you want to text the people of Virginia for used cars, new cars, storage units using Uber Eats, guns, ammo, the list? Holy shit, K-Dogs. To get 150% pay increase. My God almighty. It's fucking completely, it's just word salad. What about when you have criminals, the influenceable minds, that people who have a celebrity or somebody with more popularity to make a decision for them because they need a leader? Cassie, I'm lost. I have no idea what you're talking about. None whatsoever. All pardons have been bad people. Yep. I don't what? Dan, what does that mean? Oh, you don't? I don't what? He would have been in jail if the MAGA hadn't voted him in office. Yeah, of course. Blue states bring the most money because they're invested into STEM fields and the government. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a time to end the show because I have no idea what any of you are fucking talking about. So yeah. Oh, K-Dogs, I was here since 2021, June of 2021. I've been making a living, a very good living on here for 4.5 years, going on 5 years now in June. So I'm going to keep talking politics. I could talk politics, not just Trump. And I'm going to do the other stuff I do. And I'll continue to make a living on here. My life will be the shit like it is now. Believe me. They are. I would vote for him again. The Democratic Party has screwed us over, and he's trying to fix it. Difficult to do when every news media is opposed. Oh, so now it's the news media's fault. Somehow Trump can't fix anything because of the news media. Rob, you're so full of shit. But everything with you guys, there's somebody else to blame. Nothing is your fault. Nothing is Trump's fault. And now it's the media. Trump would have fixed all this shit, but the media, which doesn't even make fucking sense. And tell me how Democrats screwed you. Tell me. Do you realize all the Democratic policies that get you through every day, every week? Do you even understand? Like Social Security, when you retire, that's a Democratic policy. Republicans have been trying to get rid of it. People who are poor, which includes not just lazy people in the ghetto and rednecks and trailers in Alabama, but disabled people, veterans, old people, SNAP, cash assistance, Section 8 housing. That's Democrats. Unemployment, that's Democrats. Most of the infrastructure in this country, that's Democrat. You don't even realize that the most important policies that affect your life are Democratic policies. You don't get it. Well, that's just you saying that, Cassie, that he was pretty much completely, fully disabled, which is the oddest thing I've ever heard. Pretty much completely, fully disabled. And he has dementia. Neurologists that checked him out said that he doesn't have dementia. I think he shouldn't have been in office anymore. I think it was time for him to go long before he dropped out of the race. But as far as not being able to put a sentence together on his own, he didn't tell his base to go out and vote for Trump. And I mean, I hate to do this because I really don't want to put the time into it. Who, me? What hip hop music I play on Sunday? What are you talking about? I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else. Yeah, Cassie, I mean, I can show you some stuff. That, I mean, you can't deny that. Let's just say Joe Biden had dementia. Trump is as bad, if not worse than him. You can't. Yeah, but how come he didn't, Magic Johnson? You're saying he would. That's your opinion, but he didn't pardon anyone like that. He fully pardoned a total of 80 people. And then there was like 4,000 commutations, acts of clemency, which nobody got out and got their, shit exonerated and all that, or got their shit expunged, and none of that. It just means their sentences were commuted. Like they took a lot of people off death row and just gave them life without parole. Stuff like that. There's only 80 full pardons. So can you even tell me by name some of the people that he fucking pardoned? Because I could certainly tell you about Trump. I know I don't, Magic Johnson, but you guys do. That makes up the majority of MAGA. All the people who got channels that talk about Trump actually make him the most talked about man ever. So we thank you. And those who talk about him, Trump, best president ever. Well, that's any president at the time. I mean, Joe Biden, remember? You didn't see any channels talking about him. That's any president. Donald Trump is the leader of the free world. People in other countries talk about him every goddamn day. So he's going to be the most talked about man, whether I have a fucking podcast or not. Helmut, $4.99. You might be Democrat and I'm a Republican, but we seem to be on the same page more than not. I agree, and I truly appreciate you supporting me today. You've given me many super chats, which is very important. I didn't get many on this show, except for you and Mr. Dunovich. So I thank you for that. Guys, please hit the like button and subscribe. It's very, very important. Biden never told us to drink bleach. Now, well, to be accurate, because they'll say, I'll play the video. They'll say, oh, you never said drink bleach. He suggested injecting Lysol basically into your veins to try to cure a virus. He did. So, and when you guys talk about demented, you think because Trump speaks clearly, even though it's all jarbled and he's talking about 15 different subjects at the same time, you think just because he's saying his words clearly, he's not demented. Whereas Biden, when he was fucked up, he would just mumble and blah, 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 and you couldn't understand him. But Biden has never said 1/10 of the insane shit that Donald Trump has. Never. I could show you clips right now that would blow your mind. You'd probably deny they were real. Not that I know of. I never saw nothing like that, Magic. But again, Donald Trump stood on stage, Magic Johnson, with Melania standing directly in front of him and said, Melania would have loved to be here with us tonight. She was standing right in front of him. So, and I admit, the thing is, I'll admit that Biden was fucked up. He should have dropped out before, forget about the election. He should have just dropped out probably at least a year before his term was over. But if nothing else, he should have never ran for re-election. He should have let Kamala take it or let there be a primary and pick somebody else. But I'll admit that, yeah, and Biden has a stuttering problem. Yeah, you won't admit that Trump is all fucked up. You won't admit it. Yes, I appreciate that one. Biden pardoned a lot of people that were on impeachment committees because he knew Trump would fuck with them. Yeah. He obviously Kash Patel and stuff, and Trump himself. They all said this is I'm your retribution. Remember when Trump said that? He said he's gonna. Well, Kash Patel said he's going to prosecute certain people by any means necessary, like Fauci and Hunter Biden and stuff like that. If he said, if I have to create a crime, I'll create a crime. So Joe Biden isn't going to let that happen. And Trump would do the same. Trump pardoned. Do you know how many of his people he fucking pardoned? Do you know how many he's going to pardon this time that have committed federal crimes? Elon Musk, Steve Bannon. Elon Musk said recently on an interview, if we don't win the midterms, how long do you think I'm going to prison? And he was laughing, but he knows he's going to prison. Steve Bannon said, if we don't win the midterms, we're all going to prison. So they know they're criminals. It's just somehow you don't know. All right, guys, listen. No, Juan, that's an absurd thing to say. Because they don't have to have a primary one. What you're saying basically is that the DNC, who gets to have their own rules on how they pick a candidate, has rules that say that they don't have to have a primary. But because Juan thinks they should have, then they were wrong not to. Because Juan, let me just ask you, how would that have played out? Do you think they were going to push back the election? So Kamala was picked 107 days before the election. That's when Biden dropped out, 107 days before the election. So how long would the primary have been? Just out of curiosity, how long would the primary have been? Juan, answer me. Yeah, that is true, Brandon, 100%. Yep. This guy bullseye. It's not true what he's saying. The DNC doesn't have to do a primary in that situation. Guys, are you fucking? When I ask you this, I'm being serious. Are you guys retarded? Like, you do know that she's the natural choice, right? That if Biden would have died at the same time instead of dropping out, she would have became the president. You know that, right? So to think that there should have been yeah, but there was no, even if they wanted to do a primary, which they didn't have to on, how would they have done it? 107 days. So how long is the primary going to be? Months? What do we give the guy who's running the pick? Do we give him 5 days to present his case to America. You're saying that's fair, Juan? The DNC has rules on how they pick a nominee. She went to the convention. She got the delegates' votes. That's all she needed. And that made her the nominee. So it's mind-boggling to me that you guys don't understand how simple processes like that work. She was on the ballot. What the fuck? Yeah, exactly. She was. If Biden died while he was running for president, she would have become the preemptive nominee. Yeah, without a doubt. There's no proof of that whatsoever, Juan. It's literally just you saying it. Oh, shit. Is that it? 100 likes? Come on. Well, there's nobody here now. That sucks. Anyway, I got to go, guys. I'll see you. It's Super Bowl Sunday, so if I come back on, it'll probably be 10:30 or something tonight. But have a good day, and I'll see you later. Peace.